Finding the right car can be as scary as joining a new gym.
Hey, want to come join us?
Sometimes we need someone to give us the courage to walk into our better future. Bill Harris dealerships and their staff are willing to guide you to a clear path.
Whew, that wasn't so bad.
Hey, who's ready for an ice bath?
Come take the plunge with us. Bill Harris, the name you know and trust.
Good afternoon, Mayor Matt Miller.
Good afternoon, Joe Lyons.
Hey, downtown, I was just coming here. I think they got finished with those lights.
They did. Actually, that's the cafe lighting that we're installing across Main Street in downtown. And for those that haven't followed the story, basically it is this. As you know, in preparation for the Christmas holiday season, we actually relocated some utility poles downtown, and then we put up guide wires. And on those guide wires, of course, throughout Christmas, we had our garland, our wonderful new garland and wreaths. Well, the intention was to, when those Christmas decorations came down, we were going to take the guide wires down as well. But then it occurred to us, wait a second, we've already got electricity at each of those poles and each of those locations. We have the guide wires up. Why don't we run cafe street lighting around downtown? And that's what we did, and it's all up, and tonight will be the first time that we all see it lit. And of course, it'll be up probably all through spring and summer, because it's kind of it adds a little extra sparkle or flair to downtown during these seasons when we don't have our beautiful Christmas decorations.
I'm going to have to come down there with the camera tonight and get some pictures.
That's a good idea. In fact, I have a feeling I'll be making a trek down here as soon as it gets dark just to see what it does look like. But I'm confident that it'll be a great addition to our downtown during the spring and summer season.
I was going to say, last year was so amazing.
It was.
How are you going to beat this year?
That's great.
How are you going to beat from last year?
Well, I'm glad you were so impressed with it. I do think that we were certainly one of the most Christmassy towns around. And I loved our decorations, and I've gotten lots of positive feedback about those Christmas decorations. Thank you to the Poor Balls for their donation to make it possible. But I will tell you that you are right, Joe. We've now got to figure out how we make next year even more special around the holidays. And we do have a few thoughts, and we're working on them. Actually, we've been working on them for a couple of years. And I'll just say that perhaps one of those additions you could see during Christmas 2023 here in Ashland, what about an ice skating rink?
Wow.
So we'll see what we can come up with by the time the season rolls around.
That would be awesome.
A lot of people have talked about it, a lot of people want it, but we're still working out the details and the finances to see how we could make that work.
That would be incredible. I'm going to jump right to, it's the end of the month.
Yes, it is.
It's coming up.
Can you believe it? The first month of 2023 is almost complete.
And the State of the City
Absolutely.
speech is coming. Tell us a little bit about that.
No, that's right. I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, on January 30th, Monday, January 30th, we will have our State of the City address. We're holding it this year in person once again at Archer Auditorium at Ashland High School. Now, one of the things that's going to be different this year, I've also been talking to the superintendent of Ashland City Schools, Steve Paramore, and what we're going to do is during the State of the City address, we're also going to have a presentation by Steve Paramore, the superintendent. He's going to give us an update on all the great things happening in the city schools. It won't be a long update, but I think it'll be some good information for folks to have. And the truth is, when you think about the state of our city, there's many parts that contribute to the well-being of our city. It's not just our city government, it's not just our Chamber of Commerce, it's not just our nonprofits, but it's our businesses, it's our schools, it's all different parts that are working together to make Ashland a better place to live and raise a family. And so certainly the schools are an important component, and I think people will appreciate the opportunity to hear from them as well. Now, Monday, January 30th, 7 p.m. at Archer Auditorium, that's when the State of the City will be conducted. And I would let people know that if you can't be there in person, we are going to live stream it on Armstrong Cable Channel 2, as well as live stream it on the city's Facebook page, and I believe the city schools Facebook page, and there might even be some other places that you can watch it, such as Ashland County Pictures here in the near future. So we'll get that information out as we have it.
And I'll definitely get it posted because a lot of people want to know what's going on. Speaking of that, there's a lot of questions I have for you, but they're all going to be answered in the state of the city's
I'm
address.
sure some of them might be, but you're welcome to ask.
Well, one of them, they want to know, it's just real quick, and I know we've talked about this many times, any update on the theater?
Absolutely.
That we could give a little bit of hint about.
I am very excited about the theater, and in fact, I can show you what the carpet's going to look like in the theater because I have a big sample of it right here in the mayor's office, so you'll have to take a look, Joe. But I will tell you the theater is progressing along beautifully. We are already seeing some of the interior walls be painted with the bright, vivid showstopper red. We've also seen some of our gold. We're using Tiffany gold and ceremonial gold. Those are colors of Sherwin-Williams colors that we're using throughout the building. And some of those are already going up in different places around the theater. And then, quite candidly, the HVAC, the sound system, all of that is being worked on as we speak. So yes, great progress being made at the theater, and I would say that right now we're hoping that sometime in early spring, perhaps in March, is when we will be ready to open the doors.
Well, hopefully, maybe next month we could do a video from there.
Absolutely.
I think people would like to kind of see.
It's a very exciting project, and now that it's getting this far along, you really get an idea of just how unique, and this is a word I don't often use, but how cool it is going to be. This is not going to be your typical movie theater nor performing arts theater. And even though we won't be ornate like you might find in the Renaissance Theater or some of these old theaters, what we will be is unique to Ashland. And I think people are going to really enjoy it.
One of the questions, well, several people wanted to know, is the Claremont Avenue. Can you talk? I know you got the state of the city, but Claremont Avenue is really on people's minds. They want to know when that project is.
Well, I'll tell you what. I believe we open bids. Let me see here. What are we? I would say next week, toward the end of next week, Friday of next week, I believe, is when we open bids on that project. And quite candidly, it's all going to boil down to what is the cost? What are these bids? If the bids are high, chances are the project will not be as broad in what is actually done on Claremont Avenue. If the prices are reasonable or what we're expecting, then we should be able to do more improvements to Claremont Avenue. So it's really going to be dictated by how much these bids are when we open them next week.
Real quick, the apartments downtown, we talked about a couple times,
yes.
But nothing is really come.
Pump House area, is that what you're thinking of?
No,
it's still moving forward. And as is the case with so many projects that we've done over the last several years while I've had the opportunity to serve as mayor, they all seem to evolve over time. They all seem to change over time. But I have to admit, I have never been disappointed with the final product. And so when you ask me the question of how are the apartments going on in the Pump House district or how's that planning going, what I will tell you is literally this week it continued to evolve. Right now what I would say to you is, as I've stated before, yes, there's going to be a lot of apartments there, multiple buildings, multiple apartment buildings that'll hopefully have a hip vibe that'll fit into that industrial history of that area of our city. But also, I do believe we are going to end up having a hotel there. We can talk more about that. Perhaps I'll talk more about that at the State of the City, but I do think that you're going to see a boutique hotel go there, and perhaps it may even go in a renovated pump house. But hopefully I've got some more information here by the time our State of the City address rolls around. But things are progressing there in the Pump House District. Everything's still a go. I'm sure some of your viewers might be asking you, Joe, if that's off or the plans, why are we seeing any action? But the bottom line is it just takes time. In each of those major developments, there's all the studies that have to be done, all of the environmental studies and information that has to be gathered, all the financing has to be put together. Then it takes forever to, well, I shouldn't say that, that sounds pretty negative, but it does often take a long time to close on those projects. And then once it's closed, then contractors are lined up and so on. But don't worry, things are still moving forward.
Well, as I always say, I always enjoy doing these interviews with you because there's so many things that's happening, and it's evolving very quickly.
Yes. You know, I have to tell you, there are times when I will start to think, boy, there's so many things we want to do, so many things I've talked about, and they're still not finished yet, or we still haven't gotten started. But then it'll cross my mind as I drive through town or drive out a particular street and I see something that we have been able to accomplish over these last several years, and I think to myself, you know what? When you really stop and look at it, a lot has happened here in this great community over the last few years. And even as I say this to you, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? We may not have seen any movement on the new apartments in the pump house yet, but we did see a number of old buildings cleaned up just a month ago on the east entrance to our city. And that will be a mess that's forever cleaned up. It will never be there again. And so all of that is a sign of progress here in the city of Ashland.
And one last question. I seen an article and another news source. We're still going to do the turning the
Oh
creek
yes,
green
yes,
and have a
absolutely.
St. Patrick's Day.
No, that's a good thing for you to bring up, Joe, because even though we're sitting here today and there's snowflakes flying outside, March will be here soon. St. Patrick's Day will be here soon. And actually, you remind me, I need to go check and make sure we have enough dye to dye the creek green again this year. But yes, our plan is that on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, believe it or not, I just found out I don't believe city schools have school that day. The students don't have school that day, I don't believe. So that even makes it more exciting to plan what we do on St. Patrick's Day. But we will plan to turn the creek green. Anyone that's trying to figure out what time that might be, I would say around noon again this year. You should expect that we'll turn the creek green around noon on St. Patrick's Day, and then later in the afternoon, probably around 4:30 or 5, is when we will once again do our St. Patrick's Day parade. So there'll be more details coming. It is. Anyone can enter. We just encourage everyone to get decked out in all of your Irish green, and we'll march down the street together. So that was a lot of fun last year.
It was.
Great weather, and we'll hope we have that again this year.
Well, again, as always, Matt, I appreciate you taking time to talk to me and doing these updates and stuff like that, because it is exciting to be one to bring that kind of information out.
Well, and I appreciate your understanding too about respecting the fact that here in just a week we'll be delivering the state of the city, so we'll have even more information.
Because I know all the exciting stuff is going to help for that, but I look forward to hearing your state of the city address.
I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you very much for talking with me today.
And you have a great day, sir.
You too.
Finding the right car can be as scary as joining a new gym.
Hey, want to come join us?
Sometimes we need someone to give us the courage to walk into our better future. Bill Harris Dealerships and their staff are willing to guide you to a clear path.
Whew, that wasn't so bad.
Hey, who's ready for an ice bath?
Come take the plunge with us. Bill Harris, the name you know and trust.